Hey guys, so today it's going to be a different type of video. I'm actually in front of the camera rather than behind, and this is not going to be a really complicated video. It's going to be more simple. We're actually building a frame or a mount for a monitor. This is the monitor, and I'm doing this for a friend. Usually family and friends come to me to like fix things and to do some improvements on electronics, whatever it may be. So today I'm doing this for a friend and building a mount, and yeah. So this is how the frame is going to look like. We have it sketched out here, and here are the dimensions with it. We also have, different sketches over here, making sure that we're in proportion with how the main monitor is and how the second monitor is going to be set up. Because in total, there's going to be 3 monitors in this whole setup, and there's going to be actually an extra one on the right over here from the main monitor. So to obviously build this frame, we're going to pick out metal, and I have a bunch of this metal, so some of it should be useful in order to cut and weld the frame together. So right now what we're doing is we're making a bracket, or like a frame, a piece of metal basically cut out so it will fit and connect to these 4 holes, and then hopefully with that mounted on, then we can put more holes in it to fit into here. So basically this came from a different monitor, and we want to connect this to the monitor that does not have a proper stand to it. This is going to be the monitor on the right of the main one. As you saw right here, this is the main monitor. We're going to focus on the right monitor for now. So I just want to show you what happens when you use math and when you don't use math. These 2 holes over here were already in the metal when we cut this whole section out, but these 2 holes were not. And this hole was drilled out without any mathematical calculations, and you see how it turned out. And this one was, and it's pretty damn straight. Probably need to use these to make sure that the screws don't unscrew themselves. Ha ha ha. So we finally figured out a way to make everything fit together, and as you can see, the bracket is connected over to this piece of metal, and it looks very sketchy, but it does hold up and it does tilt, so as far as this goes, it's pretty satisfactory, at least for my friend. Alright, so I made the feet, as you can see here. These are 6 inches in length and 2 inches in width. And because I don't have any really long pieces of thick metal, other than, these pieces, I'm going to use conduit piping for the height of this. And we're going to cut this conduit at 26 inches. So 26 inches is from the very bottom of the table all the way up to, the top. And once we cut 2 of these conduit pipes, then we can start welding. All right, now is day 2, and even though we did finish one monitor yesterday, I'm not completely satisfied with that little stand that we attached to it, only because it was kind of wobbly. But my friend didn't mind, so, you know, we were also rushing, and we just wanted to get one monitor out of the way because he did need a replacement monitor, like, you know, that same day. So he just took it as it is, and today I'm going to finish welding everything for the frame to mount the second monitor right above his main one. And actually it should be fairly simple. You should be able to see a line right here, and that indicates the optimal point where we have to mount the monitor at. So the monitor is going to attach to this metallic bracket, and the monitor's screws go into here on the very edges of these holes. And the optimal point, the height of this mark, is 21.5 inches. And so what I have to do is I have to make sure that the bottom screws of the monitor line up with this line. And so if we mount the monitor in this position, according to this, then we have the optimal height, and we know that it will be above his monitor, and, you know, it'll have enough room to tilt and stuff. I also took apart another stand for a cheap monitor, and I got this out of it. And so the tilting mechanism from the stand of that other monitor is right here in my hand. And we're going to actually use this and attach it to this bracket. And what effectively that does is makes it so we're able to tilt the monitor forward and backwards. I thought about different ways of connecting this tilting mechanism over to the mounting plate for the monitor, and I think this is probably the best way to do it realistically, is to just weld it like that. See, if I weld it like that into one piece, then I can position it on the conduit like this, and it would actually be above the 21.5 inch mark. And you know, I don't want to actually go below that mark. I want to be at least above it if I can, to remain at like the optimal height. So that's the way I think I'm gonna go about doing this. And another reason why I'm going to weld it this way is because it allows me access to those corner screws to mount the monitor to this piece of metal. Another cool thing about this is that if you want it to tilt more than it already does, then what you can do is actually remove some material on the edges of this notch here, and it will allow you to tilt more than it already does. But we'll see. We have to first weld this on, and then we'll see how much tilt it gives. So the stand is looking really nice, and everything more or less is where it's supposed to be. It can already support the full weight of the monitor, which is actually pretty cool. And it's sort of functional with the tilt mechanism. The only things that are left to do now is to kind of strengthen the frame. So I'm going to do more welding to do that, and painting it. So I'm probably going to spray paint it black. And then I'm going to adjust the tilt to make sure that that functions properly. And there you go. You know, you have a stand for a third monitor above the main one. All right, so it's getting late now. It's 6:30, and I finally got a hold of my friend after texting him for the past several hours, wondering why he hasn't responded. Turns out he streamed for 12 hours straight, and he's really into streaming, and he usually has several viewers on his stream, and so I guess he just decided yesterday to stream for 12 hours, and that's why he hasn't woken up until now. Anyway, I'm gonna drive over there and I'm gonna give him his mount for the monitor and see how he reacts to it. Okay. That's tight. That's tight. That's tight. All right. All right. So this is solid. On top of this is the real test if it's gonna be high enough. I think it's gonna be high enough. It looks like it's high enough. Okay. What do you think, dude? What do you think? I like it too. And look, dude, it can tilt. It holds its position, right? You can even tilt it up like that.
That's perfect. Just leave it up like that. That's perfect.
All right, let's power it on. There you go. There's the right monitor, there's the top monitor, and there's the main monitor. What a setup. Now you can stream for another 12 hours.
I can't wait.
Fuck, man, it's like it's fucking starting to snow again.